I'm an SDE at Amazon. The more junior you are, the more challenges you're going to be facing. The main components are having good technical skills, and the other side is the soft skills, which are super important. Have something that shows that you're an active learner. It's not a guarantee that if you just have 100% in all your classes, then you're going to get to a top company. I guess that it's really important the way you treat the whole situation. This is super important.
What is up, guys? Welcome back. This is your profile Udesh, and in this video we have with us Alba Mustafaj, who is a software development engineer at Amazon Lux. So she has accepted my invitation to join us here to share her story, and also we can expect some wonderful tips and advices to become a good software engineer. So first of all, welcome Alba, and thanks for accepting my invite.
Hi, thank you very much for inviting. I hope this session will be helpful for some people.
Yeah, hopefully. And would you like to take a few minutes to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm an SD at Amazon. I've been here for a year and 9 months now. I started, I actually joined Amazon right after graduating. So I did my bachelor's in Bilkent University in Turkey. And this is actually my first full-time experience. But rather than that, I had 2 internships as well in Germany. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, cool. So can you share us with your experience as a software development engineer, and how did you get started, and how did you get into Amazon?
Okay, so yeah, it happened during my last year of high school, actually. You know, like we all have this feeling, so what are we gonna do? And I tried experimenting. Like we had this competition, like a science competition, and I joined it with a friend of mine, and we did like this website, not super complicated, but anyway, that's what kind of dragged me into this field. And then I decided to pursue my bachelor's degree, but as I was graduating, I also had this idea. So should I continue doing masters or should I start working? But then I don't know. I just had the feeling that I want to start working right away. So during my last year, first semester of my last year, I applied at Amazon, and around December I started the process with them. I guess I can maybe provide some more details later, like but when I also give some advices for
So how is it to work at a big tech company like Amazon?
Oh, it's pretty cool. Well, actually, as I said, this is my first full-time experience. So rather than that, I had 2 others which were in startups, and like one was a startup, the other one was a research center. So I cannot really make the difference of how it is to be like full-time in a startup or full-time in a like big top company. But it's pretty cool. And one of the advantages I think that Amazon has is that since it's established, it has like a lot, like the teams are pretty like they have like solid how do I say, knowledge sharing methods, and this is very cool. So for any new joiner, it's not quite easy, but it's not that hard to just fit in. Yeah, so you will always have somebody that can mentor you in your first months, or you can always schedule some one-on-ones with other people if you want to know more about projects. So in terms of that, it's pretty cool. And in terms of the daily basis, it's pretty exciting, I think. Like you always, if like, depends how you want to like structure your work, but like you can always have something to look up to the next day. Yeah, so to wake up and be like, okay, so today I want to accomplish that. Like there are a lot of opportunities, and you can always maybe discuss with your manager to find something that fits you. So you never have to do something that you don't want to be doing. Or
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So what are your daily responsibilities as an SDE?
Okay, so it's not that every day is the same. It depends on the project that I'm currently working on. Depends if I'm taking a new initiative. But let's say if it's something that, let's say like a normal day. Okay, I try to split my day into two parts. The first half is usually the most productive one because I really like to start working early morning, so like get my workout in and then jump to work. And depends. Some days we have team meetings. Some days it's more free to focus on your tasks. But usually it's like that. Like most of the day goes coding, and then if you're working on something new, then maybe you will need to do some research or do some learning, and basically like the rest of the day will still go into like it's a mix. And I think that if you like find yourself doing the not the same thing, but like falling into this kind of routine where you feel super comfortable, then I think you have to do something else. Yeah, so just like make yourself kind of also upgrade to progress or learn something new. So in terms of that, yeah, it's quite dynamic. Like I'm not saying that every day is different, but it's you can make you have the space to do interesting things.
I get it. So, what are the challenges you would probably face as a software development engineer?
Okay, um, so it also depends on the level. So the more junior you are, the more challenges you're going to be facing. Because when you first join, like the first challenges are getting to know the projects you're working on, the team, and etc. But again, once you're very comfortable, then you're going to have to be working on something that will help you grow in the career perspective. So then you will have to learn new technologies, and you'll have to design something, let's say. So you'll have to know the trade-offs. You have to I wouldn't say it's a challenge. It's like something that everybody has to go through in order to grow and to learn more. But basically, like also in my opinion, like the main challenges, and which are also the good ones, is that you should try to learn. You should not only execute things and be comfortable in your comfort zone. Yeah, you should always try to expand your skills and actually pick up things that you may not feel super comfortable, and sometimes maybe you feel like hitting the wall, but that's what makes you grow. So that's like a challenge that I guess everybody has to go through, and you can relate.
So, yeah, is there any roadmap or any roadmaps or any plans to become a good or a great software engineer?
Okay, so I think that so there's nothing set in stone, but it's also something personal. Like everybody knows everybody has that feeling that what they should do more in order to progress, or even if they don't know, they're like, this is quite relative. But I think the main components are having good technical skills, like being a very good developer, and later on also have a good understanding of infrastructure and how to set up things from scratch. And the other side is the soft skills, which are super important, I believe, because although you may be technically very good, soft skills are those that kind of help you interact in your team, also communicate or make decisions or be a good leader. So that's also something that should be taken into account. In terms of for the first part, I would say for being good at developing, there are also again a lot of categories. Like for example, you should be good at knowing some principles, like I don't know, TDD, like test-driven development, or other like keep it simple. You should also like be familiar with paradigms, maybe. And be able to compare them. So these things do not come only from, I don't know, studying and having good, like having a 4.0 GPA. Like they come also with working or just reading articles in your free time. And also, for example, you should also be able to like identify which design patterns to use when, or like be good at least one programming language, and also be familiar with the testing process, because testing, I think, is also a very important part of our job. Okay, although that some people may say, yeah, but I'm not a test engineer. I guess like we should have all the understanding also, again, of the databases and everything. And also for the infrastructure, I guess like we should be familiar with the builder tools, and like, although, so there's also this thing, many people may be working on something that are not super low level, and they may say that I don't really need to know Maven or Gradle, but if you do, then it opens more doors, because in the future you may need to work on that. So I guess that this is very important, like infrastructure and development, and the soft skills. For the soft skills, I guess the advice I could give would be, if you have somebody that you really like and you are looking up to, you can just try to, if that person is somebody like who's a public speaker and you cannot really talk to them, okay, maybe try to see what they do. But if there's somebody who's at your current company or somebody at your school, you can just really approach to them and maybe ask, like, how did you get to this point? Like, it's there's nothing wrong. It's not that I mean, we all have role models. So in terms of, I would suggest that, like, if there's somebody you can reach out, do it. And also you can maybe books are also a very good source. For example, in our team, we also have, like, our managers also suggest, like, the books, like, for example, How to Have a Good Day at Work, and it has really good examples, like not only building soft skills, but also how to handle many things in your working environment, especially if you're new to it. I guess this will be for the juniors. And also, for example, depending if what area, also what team process you're interested in. Let's say, for example, you like retrospectives, or you like operational excellence. Like, there are many books. I can also maybe send you some links. Like, some of my favorite are agile retrospectives. I don't know if you have heard of it. And also this one that I mentioned, How to Have a Good Day at Work. And what I do, because I know that maybe we're kind of not lazy, but we don't have all the time in the world to read books, and sometimes we want a summary. So I try to combine things that I like together, so that I do maybe two things in one. So let's say this book, How to Have a Good Day at Work, I have the Spanish version of it. So I I like reading in Spanish, and at the same time I'm reading something that will, like, help me with my soft skills, let's say. So I would really advise people, if they can find things that are fun to them, but also work related.
Yeah, that was a wonderful tip. So mainly the common question which most people come up with is how to prepare for technical interviews.
So there are many things to this one. So when I was preparing, I'll share my experience, and then what I think that is correct. I mean, in my opinion. So my personal experience was that I applied, and then I had around 2 weeks to prepare for the interview and everything. And I went to look at, everybody Googles like most common questions, or they look at videos of other people, how they handled it. And I saw a video saying, so if you're in your second year of university, then you're fine. You have 2 years to prepare. And there I was. I had 2 weeks to prepare for the interview, and I was like, no, there must be something wrong here. But no, so really, I don't want to be the one who kind of says that you need to prepare like your whole life for it. But at the same time, I think that it's quite overwhelming if you just leave everything for the end. So based on my personal experience and my the advices that I've given to other people, I think that if you're like if you're in high school, or if you're in university, or even if you're studying or doing something that's not really related to programming, and you see yourself having an interview in the future, I guess what you can do, like one important thing, is that you can enter competitions, or for example, you can do some competitive programming. Like there are amazing methodologies. It really depends on the school that you're going, or maybe, I don't know if this is online, but there are amazing ways to learn a lot of algorithms, solve a lot of problems. So I think this is a very good way, and this is something that I suggested to my brother, and he did that since he was in high school. So by the time he graduated, he really had like solid foundations in problem solving. So if you would like just interview him, he would do really good just because of practicing all the time. And then second thing is, once you're actually studying something, you're, for example, you're in your CS 101 course, or you're doing, you're in your algorithms course. I know you have a lot of courses to study for, but at least if you can take some minutes, and after you learn, for example, a data structure, let's say you learned hash maps today, you can just go into HackerRank or LeetCode, or even like just Google questions related to this data structure, and then get the hang of it like slowly. You don't have to like completely be oh, but I don't have enough knowledge on it, so maybe I should wait until I learn a bit more. No, you can just like gradually do one by one, like each skill that you acquire, you can as well alongside practice. And I also, one other thing that I would suggest is take part in online competitions like Hashcode, Code Jam, like anything that you can find. Like now we're exposed to a lot of resources, so I guess that's we should use them. And even if we feel like, yeah, but I don't think I'm gonna score high, again, like everything is like a small piece that will prepare you for the end result. I think these three things are quite important. And if you're somebody that is already working and you're preparing for interviews, I guess, well, that's kind of hard. Not hard, but since our daily work is a bit different from the interview questions, but I guess that's, I don't know, we're already used to it, so.
Great, and that's wonderful. So, is there any programming languages to be specified or be focused to be a software development engineer?
I think that it really depends on the job you're applying for. I mean, if you just search like every year there's this like top language, like trending languages, let's say like Python, or but if you're not working with it, or if it's not necessary, it also depends what you're looking for. If you're uncertain of what kind of job you're looking for, then maybe you should define that first. But I don't think that there's an exact programming language that will get you anywhere. That's my personal experience, because let's say, for example, I studied, like when I started studying, I learned Java at first, and then every year in university we had to like work with other programming languages. So in the end it was like a mix. I wouldn't suggest this either, to just like scatter around everywhere. You should at least have like a strong foundations in some language, but that's relative to what you're looking for.
Awesome. So what would be the extra skill sets that a candidate should have to become a good software development engineer?
I think that the soft skills are, I think it's very important to also have good communication skills, and also to at least try to have some teamwork. Even if you like being an individual contributor, that's fine, but it's good to at least have some experiences in more than one area, more than the thing you really like doing. And that will also help you build strong skills. And also it depends what you aspire to be, because maybe you want to be a principal engineer in the future. So you start junior, then you want to be senior, and then a principal, but maybe after that you want to be a manager. So it really depends on what you want to do. But I think that the most important soft skills, it's team communication. That's very important. Like anyway, like even if you as you go up in your career, you will always have to take decisions, no matter of your role. You have to engage with customers. So I guess the more you practice these skills, or the more, as I said earlier, that if there's somebody that you really see as a role model, the more you learn from them. I guess that would be my advice.
Awesome. How can we get into Amazon?
Basically, what I think is important when you're a college student is having something that will make you stand out. Because everybody, like what are we going to be evaluated upon is we may have one or two internships, but that's all. We don't have any work experience, so we have to have something that will make us stand out. except the interview, like your interview performance, of course, that will be judged by the interviewer. But in order to get into that step of being selected to get the interview, I guess that you should have something that shows that you're an active learner, that you're, or maybe also, as I said, participate into competitive programming sessions, or I don't know, maybe, but that doesn't guarantee that you're going to get some reward, and that's totally fine. But I would say one thing is this, like trying to be involved into technical competitions. And the other thing I would say that you can also do while you're studying is build projects. So build the projects in a wise way. So don't just build them to get a grade. Be creative, I would say. Like, for example, in my case, we had this OOP class. I guess most of students have it, object-oriented patterns. And we were told, so you should design, do everything that, like, as you think, and you will be graded on it, of course, but the technologies are your decision, so you can do whatever you want. So what I did is I said, okay, so maybe I should learn C#, and maybe I learn some like Unity, or maybe, like, this is something that you can do. It won't take you extra time from your studies, but it will also make you stand out, because it shows that you can actually do something outside of the curriculum, and you can do it well. So I think that's something that when they're hiring, they're looking for, showing that you have not only a diverse skill set, because we all go, basically we just study the same things. Yeah, all colleges have this foundation. So I guess that's what will make the students stand out. And I would say also, so don't always be, of course, having a 4.0, like having all 100% is very good. But if you will have to make a trade-off, I would say that have a very like good GPA, but also at the same time have this maybe side project or this super cool school project, because it's not a guarantee that if you just have 100% in all your classes, then you're gonna get to a top company. There are many students who have that. So.
Awesome, cool. So maybe the final question: what advice would you give to all the aspirants out there?
Okay, I don't want to make it too philosophical, but I would say that if you really want to achieve something, that if you really want it, like there's nothing that's going to stop you except yourself and your own not fear, but like your insecurity, I would say. Like many people, like there's a lot of competition, so many people may think that but maybe I'm not good enough, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do well in the interviews. So I think that you can just I know that it's not easy, but you can just like leave aside all your like self-judgment and everything, and I would say that start slowly. So even if you don't have any especially to students, even if you don't have an interview scheduled or anything, you can just start by, as I said earlier, practicing and maybe having like a mock interview with somebody who's more senior, maybe like, I don't know, somebody who has graduated, or somebody like me who's been working for a year and something. And maybe they will be able to point out something that you're not doing properly, that you haven't realized. So because there are also people, and I'm speaking from my experience with my peers, that say, I did very good in this interview, but I don't know why I wasn't they didn't continue. So I guess that it's really important the way you treat the whole situation. So you should be able to have I think to like practice beforehand, not a lot on the technical side, but also on the way that you approach. I would say that when you're in front of the interviewer, you should be vocal and express what you're saying before starting to write the code. I think this is very important. And many people just jump into like starting to code, but the interviewer doesn't know what's in your mind. So I would say it's rather better to just say what you think and then continue with the implementation, so that even if there's something wrong, they can give you hints and tips. Then just be completely quiet and then solve the question, maybe, I don't know, right or wrong. And also one thing is that you should be, don't always go for the most optimal solution. If you have this, and I know many people say this advice, I'm repeating the advices of other people, but this is super important, because if you go for the most optimal solution, you may spend most of the time trying to find it. But if you already have like a working solution that maybe it's like not super optimal, you can start from that, and then it's better that if you run out of time, you run out of time with a working solution than with nothing.
It was a wonderful time talking with you, and I hope the audience will be finding much more resourceful information from this interview. So thank you so much, first of all, for accepting my invite and for sharing your story and your tips to become a good software engineer. And I believe at least a few people will be able to become a good software engineer through all these tips. So yeah, thank you so much. And any last words?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much as well. I would really like to help other people, because I was there. Yeah, I was in their same shoes less than 2 years ago. So maybe I can share with you some resources that I think are helpful in terms of also learning, also books that are, I guess, very good at building your foundations, like, for example, writing clean code. Yeah, because maybe I wasn't too detailed earlier in the previous questions, but I will share with you some resources. And I don't know if you want to reach out, just reach out on my LinkedIn. I would be more than happy to just give you more advices.
Sure, I'll just also mention your LinkedIn profile on the description.
Okay.
So that's all about it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this was resourceful enough. Stay tuned for more videos. Until then, it's been Pro Pilot Study. See you soon. Bye.